they know more. And it trains at the same time, the same system trains their children to be dominant, trains their children to assume that they are to be dominant in this world that they have created. And so it trains the mind of the oppressed. It says that we, being the enemy, the oppressor, we're smart. And so there is fear of what it would mean to not learn from them and to not do well in their schools. And so we surrender, we submit, and we become convinced of their superiority. That's what that system does for African people. And we're going to talk also about earn and face their oppressors. It's an extreme level of self-destruction. Let me read this again. Black women can teach their daughters how they possibly assist in the destruction of black men and black people by allowing black men to hide out in the vagina, to allow this hiding out when they know that they should turn and face their oppressors. Is an extreme level of self-destruction. What is she saying?
I know most of y'all out there need this right now. Most of y'all need that or this. Make sure you right. Now, I mean, you ain't disrespecting nobody all up in their face. Disrespecting people and shit. But did y'all hear about what's going on over town? The receiver and the mayor, the receiver allegedly said the mayor threatened him. So the city is off the hook, but what type of example are you guys setting for the youth and for the people that's out here watching? What type of example are y'all setting? You know? But I ain't gonna get too much into that because I don't know the details of it. So I'm not gonna speak on something I don't know. So allegedly the receiver said Thad threatened him. Make sure y'all get this up in y'all gums and stop disrespecting people.
His stuff together, that his mind is right, his body and his spirit is clear. Everything stops. We just don't see enough of those men. But by you being, brothers, who you are naturally, your God-given right, the beauty and the essence of who you are, you destroy this world. That's why they hate you so much. Because you can be in the gutter, in the streets, writing raps on toilet tissue. You could be in a pen, having nothing, and they still hate you because they see the God in you. Matter of fact, when they look at you, they see God. And the kids say, that's all.
We're old reparations. The black man is.
A man that lacks the ability to see the fullness, the greatest potential and power in himself will never be able to see the fullness, cultivate the potential, or appreciate the power of his queen.
That's right.
We got a bad habit of propping these brothers up. We really do. If he does not respect himself, if he does not see the divinity within himself, he is going to destroy you.
Fact. That's a fact.
I guarantee it. Been there, done that.
That's a fact.
change some of these brothers, or we focus on that 30% of real good and ignore that 70% of run like hell, I'm telling you, if he can't see the greatness in himself, he'll never be able to see it in you. Next slide, please.
And I said to a man, you are too going to have sexual intercourse. I got the gun. I frightened him. Gentlemen, what will happen? So that's just basic fundamental physiology. So they don't have to worry initially about the female. Who they have to worry about is the male. But if they attack the male, then they harm the female. If they attack the male, if they attack the male by killing or unemployment, you see, if a man is unemployed, he cannot function as husband and father. And they understand this. You see, so this is what the war is all about. They used to, in other words, if we look at our past history, there was a long historical period where black men would be lynched and castrated if someone said he looked at a white woman. He thought about thinking about looking at a white woman. He looked at a picture of a white woman. The white man. So that means any other male has four choices: boy, girl, woman, baby. Some black men died saying, don't call me no boy. So that's three choices: girl, woman, baby. Until recently, girl and woman were out. We can go into that later. But baby, how many black women have called a black man baby in their day? Tell the truth, shame it down. How many black gentlemen call the woman they sleep with mom? Hey mama, can I ride with you? How many black men have called the place where they sleep a crib? So the brain computer just prints out. Man calls another man the man. That's an isolated article, not a man, the man. Calls himself baby. Calls the woman he sleeps with mom. Calls the place where he sleeps a crib. Will call himself a motherfucker. So what does that term mean? Baby compared to man is powerless. See, we don't like to face the reality of our...
And that's a fact, because when our own peoples go through something in relationships, first thing the females say is what? I'm calling the man on you. Get your stuff and get out. I'm calling the man on you. Well, if you calling the man on me, who am I? I guess I'm living with you. So what, that makes me the boy? See? See how that works? So speak your speech, Queen. Speak your speech. Dr. Francis Cresswellson, Ashe. You calling the man, so what does that make us? The little boys? Most of y'all are, though. Little boys. In the grown man body.
Our powerlessness in this system of racism, white supremacy. Like a lot of people, I've been on several radio shows and talking about racism, white supremacy, and some black people have called it what? She say supremacy. Supremacy just means whoever is in charge. You see, and we may not want to face that reality, but the only way you can solve a problem is to face the problem.
Fact.
See, we have a problem to solve. that they needed to dominate the people of color so that they don't disappear. And they put us into a powerless condition after enslaving many of us. Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And everything that they have done unreal. You know, people would say, I said, what's talking about? Fast forward. See, fast forward. Morehouse School in Atlanta. They had to say no wearing of high heel shoes and dresses and carrying pocketbooks. See, now nobody needs to feel bad. You just go back to the basic position of understanding. If there is concern about fear of white genetic annihilation, then you do anything that is necessary to prevent your adversary from functioning as a male. Do you follow me?
Yes, ma'am.
See, and then you tell people they're doing their own lifestyle. Versus you have structured and controlled this to happen. See, even whether, and as a psychiatrist, as people in medicine, we don't have all of the explanations. And people won't even discuss it. If you try to discuss why is it that we're seeing an epidemic of male effeminization in our community?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to talk about it, or they'll say you're homophobic. It's not homophobic to raise that question. You see, if people do not have, if a group of people decide that they want to extend their existence thousands of generations into the future, they have to put the relationship between the male and the female as central. They cannot say a female with a female or a male with a male is the same as a male with a female. The male with the female can produce another human. But a male with a male or female with a female cannot produce that. So if a group of people want to genocide a group of people, they would find ways and means to cause males to become females. They already know about chemicals. And I talked to these black gentlemen about racism. So the white professor female who had taken me there and was taking me back home, she said, see, when you talk truth, then you can get truth back. But if you pretend there's no truth and you're playing fantasy, then that's also what you're going to get back. So she said to me after hearing me talk about racism, she said, Dr. Wilson, I hate to admit this. She said, on all social occasions, when it's only white people and no black people present, she said, Dr. Wilson, we are talking negatively about black people.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't say occasionally, Dr. Wilson. She said on all social occasions. And she said the assumption is that everybody present is in agreement. Now we were in a car, and I tell people I didn't say, stop this car this minute and let me out. I didn't say that. I told her I understood. I said, you are talking code. You are talking code about the maintenance of white supremacy. I said, I understand. point in saying this is because we are so anxious to have somebody else love us because we don't know how to love ourselves.
Right. Right.
So we don't have to be upset and angry with ourselves, just like patients come in my office and they might want to call, I'm crazy, I'm this. And I said, don't do that. Just
taught you to
say
hate
whatever
yourself.
behavior you're concerned about. Just say, it's interesting. I have this interesting behavior. I have this fascinating behavior that I want to learn about.
Who taught you to hate
You see,
yourself?
because if you don't put yourself down, then your brain stays open and available
Who taught you
for
your
thinking
name?
and focusing. But if you call yourself names, that can't happen. You see, so we just have to say, well, this is interesting. This is fascinating. How we don't like ourselves. Slaves. And to produce slaves. It wasn't about the maximal development of the African genetic and constitutional potential. We were brought to be slaves and to make slaves that would be sold to another plantation, raped and sexually abused. And because slavery was simply a phase of racism, white supremacy. See, that's sending a slave to another plantation. It's no different than foster care. Do you all follow me?
Yes, ma'am.
This is white supremacy. And what it is doing, instead of the denial, you see, and you have to say to black people that we're going to solve the unemployment problem in the black communities. You see, all of this high unemployment amongst black men and that's why these children are running 8 years to counter racism, and each individual person can engage in, I call them black mental health, behaviors in black mental health, and black self-respect. Stop name-calling one another. Stop gossiping about one another. Stop squabbling with one another. Stop cursing one another. Stop snitching on one another for reasons of personal gain. Stop being discourteous to one another. Stop being disrespectful to one another. Stop stealing from one another. Stop robbing one another. Stop fighting one another and stop killing one another. See, if no black people killed each other all over this planet, white supremacy would collapse the next day. It necessitates people of color willing to fight and kill each other for the purpose of white genetic survival. I add to that list, stop using and selling drugs to one another. And let me say this to you as a physician. This whole medical marijuana thing is a trap.
Told y'all. I told y'all. We spoke on that medical marijuana being a trap. They made laws to break laws with that deal. And I'm glad the Queen brought that topic up because we spoke on that. That's a trap. Legalizing medical marijuana. Okay, keep thinking that. Let's get into it.
It's supposed to make everybody and every little child think that the children are already saying, it's medicine. Oh no, it causes brain damage. And they want us gentrifying out of the urban centers in some Bantu stands away from the city, unemployed, and on medical marijuana. So check it. Stop using and selling drugs to one another. Stop making black children think that as children, they can be adequate mothers and fathers. Stop throwing out the trash where black people live, work, and play. Stop thinking that welfare will save you. Stop pretending that racism, white supremacy does not exist. And stop allowing black, brown, red, and yellow people being divided by racism, white supremacy. So thank you all very, very much.
With that being said, until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good one. That was just a little message that I wanted to put up on the channel since we're starting all over again. With that being said, until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, we love you all. Peace.